Many blessings, reflection. Today we're going to talk about the change of cosmic seasons. Okay, and there's a couple hermetic principles that are going to go along with this through the talk. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to cover is the principle of correspondence. Okay, so this is examples of this: as above, so below. As below, so above. As within, so without. As without, so within. Okay? So, an example of this, as below, we can study nature, right? And, okay, we'll backtrack a second real quick. I'm gonna get a little ahead of myself on this one. I've been meditating on what I wanted to talk about for a little bit, and yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. So to backtrack a little bit, the second principle that is gonna come into play here is the principle of rhythm. Okay, so everything has that rhythm. Everything has that flow. You're flowing in and you're flowing out. You're in the flow and you're out of the flow. Okay? Everything is like that. You have those ups in your life, you have those downs in your life. That's how life is. Okay? So the flow, again, as below, okay? So below on our planet, right? We go in a flow. Currently in the northern hemisphere, it's wintertime. But there's a flow to that. It's going to change. The seasons will change. It's going to happen. So as that shifts, we're going to enter into springtime, and then summertime, and then fall time, and then boom, we're back into that wintertime. Right? You get those ups, you get those downs. They're there to teach you a lesson. Okay? So as below, so above. We have cosmic seasons that we go through. Okay? And they're going to be of a different feel than, they could be similar on some levels for sure. But you'll have day and night is more what we're going to talk about on this. Okay, so in our solar system that we're currently in, we're on planet Earth right now. Planet Earth is further away from the center of our galaxy. Okay, so the cycle of night is going to be a little bit long, not a little bit, but a lot of bit longer than the cycle of day that we will experience. So the nighttime, we're outside of what is called the photon band. Okay, and this is where we're as a solar system or whatever enters that photon band. It's like you're taking a cosmic shower for that specific solar system or whatever is entering into it. You're bathing in the light to refresh and rejuvenate yourself. You need to do that. You don't want to walk around being that stinky person all day. You gotta cleanse yourself. Okay. And so with that, so our cycle, it's a lot longer in the nighttime than it is within the daytime. Okay, and there's places within our galaxy that spend most of their time in the day, and they get that cleansing, they get those divine downloads and light codes constantly. Okay, that's where we want to be. And as we work with ourselves on a soul level, we have a higher probability of ending up in a place that is more in the light. Okay? So keep that in mind. So So the flows, we flow in, we flow out. Currently, we are flowing into the light, the daytime, the galactic day. We're entering into that photon band. That's why we see so much purging of old patterns that are going on. This is us bathing, and we're getting rid of that muck from our souls, from our cosmic DNA. It's no longer serving us. We're getting rid of it. And this cycle we're entering into is going to be about, around 2,000 years or so. It's going to be through the age of Aquarius, most of the age of Aquarius. Okay, so it's going to be a lot about the feminine energy. You can see it. If you are aware of this stuff, you see it. You don't need me to tell you. Maybe this is just kind of reconfirming for you what you've been picking up on, but you see it going on. Women are being much more active on, expressing their divinity. We've been way out of balance for a very long time on this planet. Again, we spend most of the time in the night, right? That's where all the shadow work goes on. And not that it's right or wrong, it's teaching us a divine lesson, right? On why it's more harmonious to be working within the light. Okay? So we're entering into this age. It's going to be a golden age on our planet. You see it currently, if you want to look at it just in terms of, this is going to be way beyond just like technology and stuff like that, but you can look at technology. Look at what's happening on our planet with technology. Our conscious state currently isn't quite there to put all the pieces together and understand, like, oh my gosh, yeah, we have all these pieces, we just need to implement it and manifest a golden age on our planet. Like, it's already there. It's just, are we aware that the pieces are on the table, and all we have to do is pick up the pieces and put them in a certain manner, and bam, there's the picture, there's the golden age. It's there. Pieces are on the table. I'm letting you know this. Pieces are on the table. Okay? It's there. People are developing different agricultural means, where you can look at how much America wastes with food every year. There's no shortage of food. That's a joke, okay? But the way that we're going to do it is going to be so much more harmonious. Because again, in America, we have all this GMO food. We put all these pesticides on the planet, That's not harmonious. That's not in balance. So all that stuff is going to, as we get further into the photon band, all that stuff we're going to shed it. It's going to go away. Okay? If we do the work. If we choose to do the work. It's always a choice. I choose to do the work. That's why I'm making this video right now. I had my calling. I, woke up and had experiences where I was like, yeah, this is the truth. We're entering into a golden age. We are having a change of seasons. There's so many more high vibratory beings on this planet right now than, for a long time. There have been very, very high vibratory beings that have been on this planet, in the past, several thousand years. It's just we've been in the dark, so it doesn't happen that often. It's very difficult for high vibratory beings that are more attuned to being, closer towards the central sun, that spend most of their time in the photon band. It's very difficult for them to incarnate down here. They have to be extremely powerful if they do incarnate down here, because it's hard to adjust to the density. Okay, it's like, like you're trying to move through jello all day. Like the whole planet's jello, and you're trying to work your way through the jello every single moment of your life. It's getting, the density is getting a lot less. We're entering higher vibratory states, so higher vibratory beings can enter here with much more grace, much more ease to perform their work to help transition us into the golden age. And you see it. There's many of us on this planet right now. Okay? Maybe you're one of them. A lot of times, we're pulled into that, you attracted me, I attracted you, so that I can provide you this, this spark in your awakening. That happened with me. I had attracted people within my space that woke me up to what was going on. Okay? So the rhythm, we're entering into the flow. Okay, so with that, the first principle of Hermetic teachings, okay, so this is coming from Hermes if you're, going with the Greeks, this is also Thoth of Chem, of the Kemetic teachings, okay? So this is a master teacher, master teacher. So the first principle is everything is mental. Okay, everything starts up here. And especially as we're entering into that light, you want to be very clear with what you're communicating to yourself, because that's gonna flow. We are in the flow. Okay, and it's only gonna get more apparent that we're in the flow as time goes on. So what you think is gonna manifest greatly. As within, so without. Correspondence. Okay? So, again, we are entering into the flow. We're entering into a state where we have the choice to access a very high state of consciousness. A very high state of consciousness. Some of you may be experiencing many shifts in your life. And this is part of it. If you have been out of flow and then you get into the flow, you have to let go of some of that stuff that you were doing while you were out of the flow, when you were, out of balance and stuff. You have to let that stuff go to really tap into the flow. That's going to be a choice that you have to make. You don't have to make it, but that's a choice that you may want to make. You don't have to make it. You don't have to. It's not, we're on a spiral. Our life is a spiral. An eternal spiral. Okay, so if you want to move up the spiral, you want to access those higher vibratory states, you need to make choices that are going to get you there. If you're going to stay with patterns that are keeping you out of the flow, that are keeping you more dense, you're gonna stay on that lower spin of the spiral. And not that that's right or wrong. Maybe it's just part of your lesson in this incarnation, or for many incarnations. We all go through it. That's just how it is. So if you're having that calling, start up here. Start up here. Start to communicate with yourself. You know, I'm huge, you know, proponent of affirmations. One of the affirmations that came to me a little bit ago, not that long ago, was I am, most powerful sentence, you know, that you're going to state. I am ... is going to be the most powerful sentence you can state, especially in here. You know, when you're using your inner voice. It's going to, again, as within, so without. It's going to reflect out. It's going to manifest outwardly. So, I am manifesting a golden age on planet Earth. That is one of my affirmations that I work with pretty much daily, to be completely honest. Now that I'm really tapped into the flow, that's what I work with a lot, because that's what I'm doing. That is what's currently happening within my life. It will happen, right? I am stating it as if it has already happened, because it has. Because in my mind, I am. It will happen. Because it is happening. As I stated in my mind, it is manifesting. I'm in the rhythm. I'm in the flow. I'm vibrating with the universe. Right? I sense that we're in the photon band. I'm like, oh yeah, what a blessed divine time to be on our planet. So incredibly grateful to be here, to experience this, you know? And with this, part of my mission with this incarnation is to help with the transition. That is part of my mission. I am full on consciously aware of this. I've had experiences when I'm in meditation, things of that nature, that have shown me this is my path. I am walking my path. Okay, so I'm facilitating for others. You know, I'm way beyond just looking out for myself. I'm looking out for everyone, because I know that I am everyone. How did I open this? Many blessings, reflection. You are a reflection of me, as I am a reflection of you. Again, that correspondence. Okay? And as you start to move into that service for others, right? It's yourself. As you are serving yourself, you know, not your little self, but your big self. As you are serving yourself, your vibratory state moves up. You get less dense. You carry less, you know, heavy vibratory states. That is where you move up the spiral. Okay? It's a never-ending spiral. There's no end to it. There isn't. Again, things I've experienced in different meditations and stuff that I've had, you know, where I got way out there. And, you know, things I experienced, and then, you know, and then just like the flow of it all, and like, you know, people coming into my life at the right time. Oh my goodness, the right time, saying the exact thing that I need to hear to affirm or to confirm rather what, you know, I have been experiencing. And maybe that watching this video for you is your confirmation. You're like, dude, yeah, this is what I've been feeling. I didn't have, you know, the people around me to communicate it back to me. Because it's very good to have that reflected back. It's very good to have that, you know? Not that it's necessary, because when you go within and you know yourself, knowledge is power. I did a video on regaining your power, okay? So knowledge is power. The highest form of knowledge is to know yourself. And the only way that you're going to truly know yourself is if you go within. If you connect with your inner being. Right? So when you know yourself, then, seeing a video like this or having somebody enter your life and them communicate whatever it is in your life, that's just confirming the fact that you truly know yourself. And that you're in rhythm. You're in that flow. You're vibrating with the universe. With the multiverse. You're vibrating with yourself. And you'll see it happen. You'll experience it. I've experienced it. So as we move into this golden age, again, it's going to be a much more in balance. So what's going to happen is, so we have, the masculine energy is just like, boom, like that's the weight of it all. Like, it's been masculine. There hasn't been a balance. So the feminine is going to bring it back into balance. Okay? And again, we see that happening. The Me Too thing. Everyone coming out with that stuff. That is us purging. That is us bringing it into, the conscious state to be like, yeah, we need to bring this stuff into check because this is, low vibratory states and this cannot stay. It cannot. It needs to be cleansed. We need to raise our vibration and carry less dense vibrations. And as you raise your vibration, as you start to access higher and higher states of consciousness, that's when you're going to really start to know yourself. You're going to have those meditations and you're going to see your path. You're going to see, what you need to do in this incarnation. Because each incarnation is going to be a little bit different. Maybe you need to finish a little bit of work, what you didn't fully get accomplished last time, and that's cool. It's no worries. That's part of your path. No worries. I know I got a lot of stuff that I would very much like to accomplish. Am I gonna get it all done in this lifetime? No. I know that, and that's cool. And that's why a big thing that I'm working on too. I got a lot of things I'm working on, to be completely honest. But one of the big things I'm working on is patience. Not just like in this life, but in all my lives. Patience. It's gonna come around. Again, we're on this spiral of life and it's never ending. So why not be patient and have fun and appreciate the moment and be grateful for where you're at right now? And that's another lesson that you will learn as you start to raise your vibration. There's no past, there's no future, it's just now. You have right now. In the now is where all of your decisions, all your manifestations are going to occur. And again, they start up here. Everything is mental. Okay? So as we're moving in this, there's going to be things that are going to come out of nowhere. Like I was saying with like technology. There's going to be technologies that are going to be manifested in these coming years, like in not too long, that are going to blow people's socks off. If they're not like really tapped in yet, they're going to see some things and really like, what the heck? Like, this is way sci-fi. It's going to happen. And not only in that, but I've covered this too, we're biological technology. Are the people that have been advancing themselves in their biological technology, they're going to start performing things, again, that are going to blow people's socks off. It's going to happen. I see it. I see the pattern So another lesson that you can learn, especially, as we're moving into this, you can, again, there's no present, or there's no past, there's no future, there's only the now. And in the now, you can recognize patterns and communicate with the past, communicate with the future. Because you see the patterns. Just like the seasons, right? You know that there's a pattern in the seasons. Oh, it's winter, the next pattern of seasonal change is going to be spring, and then the next seasonal change in the pattern is going to be summer, and then it's going to be fall, and it's going to be back to winter time. That's the pattern of things, right? So that as below on planet Earth, so above in our galaxy, there is a pattern. Okay? So you can see the pattern. Like I was saying, we live on that spiral. You can see that spiral pattern everywhere. In the galaxy, the spiral arms. Ammonite. The fossil that, curls in on itself. Right? There's other patterns that you can tap into that will help you recognize this stuff. You can look at Sri Yantra. This is a very masculine design, a very masculine pattern. So there may be reasons why you want to. It's your energy is out of balance. Again, you want to find the balance. But as we move into this, it's going to be all about harmony. It's going to be all about harmony with nature, all about balance. That's why the feminine energy is going to start to get, it's going to come in a lot stronger, right? So the energy is going to bring the balance back, where the masculine outweighed, not that it's I want to say it's outweighing it. It's just there's more masculine vibration, I guess is all I'm trying to communicate. If that makes sense with you. And so the feminine vibration is going to balance that, right? So it's going to balance it. But again, you might in the moment, I don't know, your path, you might need to use a masculine pattern to balance your masculine energy. Maybe it could be that you've not been using your analytical side of your body, of your brain. Maybe you've been over-expressing it, and you need to stare at a masculine thing to understand the structure and the balance of masculine energy. It's too far, so you need to find a balanced structure of masculine energy to bring it back in. And on the flip side of that, feminine energy, you can look at the flower of life, right? All curved lines, and then that will bring your feminine energy back into balance. That is, if you're a dude that's watching this, look into the flower of life. I would highly recommend you even pause this video right now and Google search flower of life, and maybe spend, 5 minutes just meditating into it. Computer images aren't going to be the best. If you can print out one, if you can, make your own, that's even better. As you create it, right, then you're manifesting it even more. I love creating stuff. I love creating stuff. Anything. I love creating sound. I love creating videos. I love creating paintings, geometry, and anything. I love it. It's so great. But yeah, so again, if you're a dude and you want to find more balance with your feminine energy, look at the flower of life. And then when you start to acknowledge the fact that, I'm a biological male, obviously, duh, but I have an inner female. And you get in touch with your inner female, and you balance the left hemisphere with the right hemisphere. And they start working together in balance. Man, look out. You're gonna be in the rhythm. You're gonna be in flow. Right? Not to say that there aren't gonna be moments where, you're gonna hit a little dip down and you're gonna get out of rhythm. That's to keep you in check. That's to make sure that you're doing your work. And you put all the tools together. So when you're out of balance, you're like, oh shoot, okay, like I sense that I'm out of balance in this part, whatever it might be, my masculine energy, my feminine energy, my heart's out of balance, or the conversations I've been having in my mind, everything's mental, that's not in balance. Right? So it's constant work. It's not like, I'm gonna chill out for 10 years of my life and not do work on myself, not develop myself. You can't do that. Because then you're gonna have 10 years of work that you're gonna have to make up on top of all the lessons that are happening day to day. It's a lot of work that you gotta do. Right? So it's an everyday thing. And it doesn't have to be back-breaking work every day. When you are more... oh man, I just got myself a little bit. But when you have found your center and you're, in your day-to-day life, you are pretty well balanced on many different planes, because we're multi-dimensional beings. So you're gonna, again, is it your heart chakra? Is it your masculine energy? Is it your feminine energy? Is it your mind? Where is the balance not there? So when you're balanced in an overall sense, and you've been working on many different planes, many different dimensions of yourself, then when you get out of balance, then it's just gonna be a little check-in. Like, okay, like I know where my balance is at. I sense that it's this over here. And I have already worked on balancing that before, because I've found my complete center. So, I have the tools at hand to bring that back into balance. It might be another lesson for you. That's why we get out of balance. It's for lessons. And sometimes, like I said, it might be many, 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 many incarnations that you're going to live through these lessons. Okay? Some of them are very deep lessons that you need to go through. Here on planet Earth, like I said, we spend most of the time in the night. It's like being in the winter time, right? Like, we don't get that much sun energy. Think of how good you feel in the sun. That's like being in the photon band. Again, as below, so above, that correspondence. Okay? So when we're on planet Earth, if you incarnate most of the time on planet Earth, you will need to do a lot of work to, get over those very deep soul lessons you need to go through. Right? Because bringing back that spiral, when you're lower on the spiral, a lot of those are very dense lessons that you need to go through, very physical lessons that you need to go through. As you start to move, strip those away and, all that kind of stuff, then you're going to get more into the soul lessons, the higher vibratory lessons. Okay? And then that's when you start incarnating closer towards the central sun. And you spend most of your incarnations in that photon band where you're being bathed in divine light. And you're accessing way higher dimensional realms that are based in the heart center, based in love, based in, divine creativity. Okay? So if you're aware that you incarnate most of the time on planet Earth, then this cycle coming up this season that we're entering into, you know, start putting it into motion right now. You know, get it in your mind. Start having conversations in your mind that are going to set you up in your future self. Okay? Again, that correspondence. As within, so without. So without into your next lifetime. You know, you want to keep that flow moving through. You want to keep that rhythm of life flowing. Again, not to say that you're going to always be in the flow. It's not going to be like that. You know, but as we are in the daytime, in the galaxy, as we're, you know, in summer, if you will, you know, then you will have more time to do the divine work, to get yourself moving in a higher vibratory state, to start letting go of some of the denser energies that have been bogging you down for more than likely many incarnations. Okay? So, you know, start it now. Start working with the conversations you're having in your mind. Again, everything is mental. Everything. What you communicate with yourself will manifest. It's going to. Even when you're in the night, it's going to. You know, in the light, it's just going to be more apparent that it's happening. You're going to be in a higher conscious state where you're like, oh shoot, yeah, like what I'm thinking is manifesting in my life. You know? Where in the nighttime, you're just having these thoughts and, you know, that it's manifesting everything. It's still happening. You know, it's just, you don't have that divine light coming in. Where you're consciously aware, like, oh shoot, yeah, like I had a thought about, you know, it could be as simple as like, oh, I thought about, you know, my friend that I haven't seen for forever. Like, oh, I would really like to, you know, reconnect with them at some point. And then like a day later they hit you up and like, yo, you know, like I haven't talked to you in forever. Like, what's up? Like, let's go get some food or whatever it is, you know? Like, that's going to happen. It always happens. It always happens. It's just, are you aware of it? Okay? So as we're entering this, you know, this golden age, you know, work with it. Have those divine conversations with yourself. Again, I really like mantras, affirmations. The affirmation that currently I'm working with that came to me maybe like 2 months ago, maybe at this point. I like to switch them up, you know, like I usually, depending on where I'm at in the moment, you know, and this one right now is what I'm working, what I'm working with. Okay? So I wake up in the morning and I say this from my heart space. So your heart puts out a very strong electromagnetic field, even more so than your mind. So if you can bring emotions into it while you're, you know, mentally stating it, whoa, again, look out. You know, because that is coming back to you. Okay, so what I say every morning, 1 time in the morning, 3 times at night, I say, I am fully aligned with myself. I value my inner wealth. Every day is great. I love myself and I love life. Every day. 1 time in the morning, 3 times at night. So I'm attuning myself. Again, I'm doing that work every single day. When I wake up first thing, you know, I don't want to say the first thing because I like to linger for a little bit if I had that time. I like to linger, you know, in that point where it's like I'm not asleep but I'm not awake, and I can start to, you know, get those, you know, tap into the lessons that were coming in my dream state. Because a lot of times in your dream state you're going into other realms where you're, bringing in higher lessons. Okay? So keep that in mind too. But once I've integrated the lessons I picked up in my dream state, then I affirm to myself who I am. What I am doing on this planet, where I'm going. How I will succeed. It's not that I want to succeed, I will succeed. Because it's mental. It will happen. I'm stating in my mind, it will happen. If you're second guessing yourself, your body is gonna second guess it. Like, maybe tomorrow. Let me just put that off till tomorrow. And then, tomorrow's gonna come. Let me put that off till tomorrow. And it's always gonna be tomorrow until you change your mind. And I'm like, no, it's not gonna be tomorrow. It's gonna be today. And it will happen today. Not that I want it to happen today. It will happen today. Okay? So affirmations. What is your heart's desire? Again, when you start to move up the spiral and you start to vibrate higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, and you start incarnating on different dimensional planes that are bathing more in the light, it's about that heart space. Okay, your heart is where you are gonna find the balance. Just as much as the conversations up here is extremely important, but you have to be also pure in your heart. Okay, you have to be able to love yourself, and then love all your reflections from them. And when you're in your heart space, you're in that balance point. You can, it's like the masculine and the feminine. You're not too far up top in your crown or other, higher chakra points. You're not too far up there where you can't ground yourself. You need to stay grounded too. And then flip that around. You're not way too down. You're not living in your root where you're so fearful. That's the dense energies. That's where you're going to get locked in those cycles where, you're incarnating, learning lessons for the root. That's a rough cycle to be in. Okay? So when you're in your heart space, you're balanced. You still can get way up there and access very divine inspirations and all that goodness. You can still do that, and at the same time, you may need to go down to your root and, be able to defend yourself, be able to survive. It's there for a reason. Duh. Like, it's there for a reason. So, learn to live from your heart. Learn to have that unconditional love. It's something that, again, I'm working on a lot of different things that I'm working on a lot. I was resentful towards, beings that would like to manipulate, that would like to, to hold on to the very, 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 very dense energies and trap people in those dense energies. I used to be resentful of them, but now it's like, again, you're a reflection of myself, and you're just teaching me a lesson of unconditional love. I love you. I love you because I love myself. As within, so without. Unconditionally. I've been through things that, I wasn't proud of. I wasn't. Well, I was very destructive. Okay? And this is another thing that you can tap into. When your vibrations lower, the tendencies that you're going to carry out are going to be more destructive. Okay, where when your vibration rate goes up, your tendencies are going to be much more creative. That's why I was saying I love creating. Because creating is lifting your vibration up and up and up and up and up and up. And then what is your mental reason for the creation? You know, are you doing it out of an ego? Like, you know, like are you is it ego based, or are you doing it to serve your higher self, your bigger self? To serve all that is, to serve the transition of this planet moving into the photon band, to assist other beings on this planet, you know, in having those higher realizations. Is that the reason why you're doing it? Or are you doing it because you're like, yo, I need some quick money or whatever it is? You could still make some money while having a very pure, you know, mental state. I'm not dissing that at all. I'm just saying, what was your initial reason for doing it? Maybe a question you want to ask yourself. Again, have that inner dialogue. Start communicating with yourself. It's going to be very important as we change that cosmic season. Okay? And just like in the springtime, you know, like that new life is going to start to sprout. That's what I'm saying. You might be having a calling. You know, your seed germinated and it's popping through the soil, and you're like, oh man, the sun, you know, all this light, like I want to grow. Woo! Go for it. You know, I'm giving you permission. Give yourself permission. Give yourself permission. You know, tell yourself, I give myself permission to be the best version of myself. Maybe that's your mantra to begin with. You know, does it resonate with your heart? Can you feel it in your heart space? Okay? So again, these are all just conversations. Things that, you know, really help me out on my path, to awaken me to my path, to raise my vibration, because everything is vibrating. Everything. Okay? You know, like this hoodie is vibrating. My voice is vibrating. The light is vibrating. Okay? You are vibrating. So there's certain vibrations you might want to have around you to help raise your vibration, to help bring you more into alignment, into that harmonious state. Okay, like I was saying with like the masculine and feminine, I covered boji stones. That might be a very beneficial energy to work with, because that's going to balance your masculine and feminine. It's also going to connect you to your soul star chakra and your earth chakra. So you're going to access very divine wisdom from other lifetimes. You know, other spiritual gifts that you have, they're there, you know, and then bring them down and anchor them through your earth chakra. Right? Because it can't just be up here. Okay? It can't just be up here. You need to anchor it down and be able to live it out in this space. You know, because that stuff's always up there. It always is. And this was a namaste, Jeremy, if you're watching this, man. Helped me out a lot with that. You know, Jeremy really clued me in, man. Dude, and oh man, I love seeing your path, dude. I love it, man. Just the first time that I saw you, and to that last time at the Theosophical Festival, man, whoa, dude. Mad props on it, man. You helped me out way ton on that first session. The second one, I was like, dude, yeah. Duh, dude, thank you, man. Oh, again, that confirmation is awesome. You know, definitely confirm it within yourself, but that confirmation is awesome. So Boji stones might be, one that stones that you might want to work with. Just throwing that out there. I personally right now I have a celestial quartz on with me in my hand. This one in particular is really good for getting like ancient wisdom. There's other forms of celestial quartz. I'll bring this up close. This one, Gary, man, Gary at the crystal store. When I got this one, he's like, oh yeah. So, yeah, I don't know how well. I'll see if I can. But it's got like all these like little ridges in it, and that's basically showing that it has much information in it. So, yeah, again, this is providing a vibration, okay, and that's what I'm getting at. Is they're providing you a vibration to work with. This is a living being. The living being. Okay? This is a reflection of us. Just as you're a reflection of me, you, this is a reflection of us. Okay? And you can tap into that vibration. So find different stones, different crystals. I love working with them. Working with them. Right? I'm showing them love. I'm communicating back with them. Okay? And depending on where you need to go with your energy, then you can find a specific crystal, find a specific stone that will bring that energy more into balance. Raise the vibration. And if it's like, if you're going way up, like I got a lot of different stuff right here. But this is natural hematite. So this is gonna bring it back down. Okay, so just as much as you want to go up, you need to bring it down, and then find that balance in your heart space. That's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge for these, this coming cycle of incarnations that we'll go through on this planet. Is living in the heart space, finding that unconditional love, and like I was saying with like what I was working on with the unconditional love, as within so without, it's if you are objectively looking at your life, so not like subjectively like, oh, I'm a perfect being, I've done no wrong in my entire life. You're lying to yourself first, but objectively, meaning you are looking at the facts. I did this over here, where I was a jerk to this person in my life. Done that, enough times, okay? And I recognize it, and I have unconditional love for myself even through those times. Those were times of me learning lessons. Because guess what? When I was being a jerk to somebody else, that was coming right back to me, and somebody else was being a jerk to me. Okay? So it's the same thing. When you, on your path, in your incarnations, right, you might go through a cycle where it's like, one life you did one, you were doing a certain thing that was not the nicest thing to do, okay, and we'll leave it at that. And the next lifetime around, maybe you're on the receiving end of that. It might not be like exactly what it was, just as like you're a reflection of me, I'm a reflection of you. We don't physiologically look exactly the same. So it might not look the same, but it might be the same lesson that, you need to learn. That's not a fun time to go through. Okay? So having that unconditional love for yourself, and then appreciating the fact that like, oh, when I was, X amount of years old and I was doing this, and it wasn't healthy for myself or anyone involved with it, and I stopped it. I stopped that pattern, right? Everything's patterns. So I stopped that pattern and I created a new pattern for myself that was way more healthy. Way more healthy, way higher vibratory state for myself. And I'm so grateful the fact that I had that awareness to see that and feel that was not okay. I'm so grateful for that. And again, when you do see that, don't resent your old self, your lower self for going through that. Have that unconditional love. Be like, it's all good, lower self. It's all good. That was just a lesson for me. I had to go through the lesson to gain the wisdom so I could share it with other people. So I could understand that that's not okay, so I can, further myself down my incarnation path. Because everything is connected, everything is one, So when we're moving into this state, when we're moving into this photon band, allow those lower vibratory patterns that you had to go. Let them go. I just did a video on letting go. If you got really heavy patterns that you're working with, you might need to, start with something that's easier to let go. Think like one of the examples that I gave, like if you need to let go of a physical activity that is very heavy and it's not healthy for you or anyone involved, maybe a way for you to start letting go is to start letting go of like old clothing. So you start practicing the shedding of, releasing those old patterns. Oh, I don't wear this style of clothing anymore. I've changed my taste, or it doesn't fit me, or whatever it was. So I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna donate it to somebody else. I'm looking out for somebody else. I'm serving my higher self, my bigger self, right? Take it a step further with that. And then when you're aware of it, when you're intentional with it, your vibration starts going up. Okay, so maybe it's something simple, but add a very pure thought to it. I am getting rid of this clothing. I'm not getting rid of it, but I'm donating this clothing so that somebody else can benefit from it to help me free up a little bit of space and to practice the art of letting go. It's going to be a huge theme, especially on this planet, for the next 2,000 years. Yeah. You might be like, what the heck, 2,000 years? What are you talking about? I'm only going to be here for X amount. You're going to be here. Many people watching this, you incarnate on this planet. Like, this is your home. Okay? So make the most of this time that you will be in. And like I said earlier in this video, as a plane, as a solar system, planet, whatever is within the photon band, it gives access to higher vibratory beings because it's a gentler energy for them to enter into. Because it can be very, very, very uncomfortable to enter into something that's extremely heavy. You know, like you have to be in an incredibly righteous being to enter into this a planet that spends most of its time in the dark, in the middle of the night. That's not easy. That is not easy work on any level. Okay? So, you know, like I said, there's going to be higher vibratory beings that are going to really hardcore assist you on your path during these incarnations. So pay attention to it. You know, like if you're seeing somebody live a life that has patterns that, you know, they're super healthy on every single level, and you sense it, you feel it, you know, start to you know, create those patterns within your own life, in your own manner, whatever is authentic to yourself. You know, because we all have our own paths, but you can still, as we're all reflections, you can reflect that pattern. Like, oh shoot, yeah, like, you know, I see so-and-so over here, you know, practicing yoga, and I saw them transform. Maybe I should try practicing yoga. Oh, I see, you know, so-and-so working with sound. You know, let me try working with sound. Oh, I see so-and-so, you know, eating a certain type of food. They're eating more plants. You know, what is that about? Why would they be doing that? Again, all questions you'll want to start to ask yourself. And then when you start to vibrate higher, and as we're in this, you know, in the time of the photon band, and you know, this next 2,000 years, in this golden age on this planet, right? The golden age does not come around that often on this planet. Doesn't. So you're gonna really want to make use of this, but yeah, as we're in this photon band, it's gonna give you more time to get those divine light codes. So we're light beings. So when we're in the photon band, the light band, you know, you are going to be receiving such high divine light codes the whole time. And when you're vibrating at a high rate, then those codes enter in at such a faster rate. You know, and you can download them and you can make those shifts like it's nothing. Here's another piece that you might want to work with. Peridot. This vibration is going to help you release and shed a lot of the patterns that you may not want to carry with you. Things that are keeping you in a denser state of vibration. You know, you want to access higher vibrations. You know, you want to be more conscious, more aware, be able to carry more light within your mind. Again, it's all going to start in your mind. So the more light capacity, I'll give you a shout out, Elijah Bishop, you know, Melanation, check him out. That's a term that he coined. Light capacity. You know, what is your capacity in your mind to hold light? Do you have a high capacity? Are you able to have very divine conversations with yourself? You know, like I said, like affirmations. What kind of affirmations are you having? When you start to have those very divine conversations with yourself, again, law of principle of correspondence, as within, so without. When you start having divine conversations within, you're going to be having divine conversations without. You know, as you see the divinity within yourself, you're going to see the divinity within everyone else. And that, again, that coming back, you know, bringing it back around again, when I would see, you know, the beings that would try to trap people in the fear matrix and all that. I used to I used to be the rebel to the max. Way to the max. Hardcore, unhealthy to the max. Right? And now it's just like, okay, I see the lesson being, put in front of me, and I'm going to give them unconditional love, and I'm going to stay over here and I'm going to shine my light. Astarius, I'll give you a shout out on this one, like, go and get clear. I'm going to love you from over here. The beings that are trapping people in fear, go and get clear, man. I'm going to stay over here and I'm going to love you. I'm going to give you that unconditional love. I'm going to put a love deposit in your soul bank so that you may vibrate higher, because you're a reflection of me. And I love you because I love myself. Okay? And that's how life goes. That's how life goes. So you can, again, have that deposit. Get, just as much as, if you can reflect back on like a higher pattern of somebody, you can, show people patterns. Just like I'm loving you from over here, I'm showing you a pattern from over here. I'm giving you love from over here. I don't have to fight you. I'm just gonna love you. I'm just gonna shine my light. Okay? The golden age. We're entering the light. Shine your light. Express your love. With you first. With your own expression. Again, as within, so without. Principle of correspondence. Look up the Hermetic principles. You'll want to get in touch with those. Okay? I love you. I love myself. I will succeed. You will succeed. Planet Earth, Mother Gaia, will succeed. If you have any questions, comments, bam, get it in the link. If you want me to cover anything else, I haven't forgot about you if you're watching this. It's coming, But if you want me to cover anything else, let me know. I'm an open book. This was just coming to me, so this is what I'm talking about today. The change of seasons, the change of the cosmic season that we're going through. Entering the age of Aquarius, entering the photon band. That was what was coming to me, so I wanted to talk about it. If you have something that you want to talk about with me, let me know. I'm an open book. Okay? Many blessings to you. So keep walking on your path. Look within. What is your purpose here? What is the lesson for you this incarnation? Tune in with yourself. Start to fine-tune your energy so you can, really tap in to who you are. Know yourself. Knowledge is power. Okay? I love you. I love myself. Tune in next time.